Welcome to the RJI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, choosing the right crowdfunding platform and a news app that shows what the people around you are reading. Crowdfunding platforms have enabled many journalists to fund projects from a few $1,000s all the way up into the six-figure range. But which is the right platform for your project? The Futures Lab's Daniel Shapiro evaluates some options.
We're going to take a look at three crowdfunding platformers: Kickstarter, Patreon, and Indiegogo. First, let's take a look at what makes them different. Kickstarter is an all-or-nothing fundraising platform, meaning that you have to raise your target amount within the time frame you set, up to 60 days, or you receive no money.
It protects backers. Backers know that they're only putting money towards projects where creators have the resources to pull it off on Kickstarter. So there's a safety in numbers.
Indiegogo is similar, but allows two types of campaigns, fixed or flexible. Fixed is similar to the Kickstarter model, while flexible will allow campaigners to withdraw all money raised, regardless of the amount asked for. Patreon takes a different route and allows ongoing monthly funding. Second, let's look at pricing. Kickstarter takes 5% of total funds raised, as well as a payment processing fee of 3%, plus 20 cents per pledge. Indiegogo's flexible and fixed campaigns have different prices. In the fixed plan, Indiegogo charges 4% of the funds raised and 3% processing fee. Their flexible plan charges the same thing, but only if you reach your goal. You're charged 9% if you fall short. Patreon is similar to Kickstarter and takes 5% with a 4% processing fee. That's a lot to absorb, but when you look at it, there's not that much difference in the percentages they take. Let's put this into simpler terms. If you're starting with $10,000 on these three sites, Kickstarter and Patreon will take $500 out of your total, whereas Indiegogo will take $400 if you meet your goal and $900 if not. So what about the content that they host, their draw?
Kickstarter is focused exclusively on creativity. So the benefit there is that you have a community of people that are looking for creative projects, best in class, well-known projects. And when you launch a Kickstarter, you're going to be alongside those projects. You're not going to be alongside charity, disaster relief.
Patreon also focuses on creativity, while Indiegogo has a personal fundraiser section where campaigns focusing on memorials and medical expenses can be found. Kickstarter also has sheer size and fame in its favor. It's the 390th most popular site in the world, much higher than Indiegogo and Patreon. So after learning all this, why should you do crowdfunding?
But what we are seeing is something pretty incredible, I think. Like if you're a vlogger or a commentator, or you have like your own media channel, we see people, not only being able to pay their rent, but be able to fund their entire production pipeline. Some of my favorite people, they definitely fall outside the spectrum of conventional journalism, but they're these guys, Kind of Funny, Greg Miller and Kind of Funny. And they do like video game commentary. They oftentimes just get on and, have podcasts about the things they love. But it's sort of like this unconventional, like truly authentic citizenship journalism.
Miller and the team behind Kind of Funny used to be big-time talent for IGN, but left to form their own business. When the team turned to crowdfunding, they ended up raising more than $40,000 a month through their two Patreons. Miller told us that their established relationship with fans at IGN is what made it possible to leave. Now, Kind of Funny is able to produce content that they want without any editorial filter.
I always described what we were doing at IGN as being, a chef or whatever, and I'm there cooking whatever I want to cook, but if you say no onions, you're my editor, I got to make it with no onions, and I get that, and that's the relationship we have. Whereas now we're a food truck and we get to make whatever we want, and if you don't want it, great, there's a million other food trucks. You can go and find that thing. We have a really passionate food truck audience.
So what's the verdict? If you're starting a company from scratch or doing a one-time project, we recommend Kickstarter. The all-or-nothing approach will guarantee that you don't start your project without funding. And don't fret, Kickstarter will help push some projects past their deadline. If you've already started your company or project and have enough consumers to support you, we recommend Patreon. The monthly fee will help give you a steady revenue stream to sustain your project. For the Futures Lab, this is Daniel Shapiro.
Indiegogo was founded in 2008, Kickstarter came in 2009, and Patreon in 2013. A recently launched app called Shuffle offers a new approach to personalized article streams. Among the features is an option for users to see the stories people around them are reading. Futures Lab reporter Gabriel Jefferson shows us how it works.
Shuffle News is a newsreader app that constantly learns what you like to read by using its own unique ranking engine. The app feeds users news through a Tinder-like interface and several different filters, allowing users to see news that's recent, popular everywhere, what their friends like, or in their current location.
The nearby filter, the location-based filter, actually is sort of an expansion upon that concept. So seeing what people in your area are reading. So when you actually meet someone locally, you have very good understanding of, have better understanding of what they've potentially been consuming, what they've been reading, and what they've been interested in, to improve further interactions and making news more relevant to your daily life.
The nearby filter uses geolocation technology to pinpoint your location, find Shuffle users in that area, and feed you the news they are reading.
When your phone actually connects to the app, the phone location is requested by the app, so that it actually pings the satellites, the GPS satellites to actually get the location, and then based off that location, what it does is when it interacts with our sort of system, whenever you swipe an article to the left or the right, it actually adds that to that location base.
The location is not exact in order to keep it anonymized, but it's precise enough to do its job. He says down the road they also want this filter to provide news that has content relevant to the specific location. But according to Wachitonis, that's not an easy task.
It would be quite difficult, because it's creating relational data between sort of locations as well as topics.
Wachitonis says he can't think of any other competition using geolocation technology to distribute news based off of the relationship between content and location. But he did say that is definitely something Shuffle is looking at to see if they can do it right. For the Futures Lab, this is Gabriel Jefferson.
Currently, the nearby feature depends on having other people in the area using the app. Once that pool of stories is exhausted, it sends users back to a list of popular or global stories. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.